Welcome to the Grizzly Den, where, yes, our Montana Grizzlies remained undefeated, knocking out Cal Poly, and we are now 6-0. We will review that game a little bit. We'll preview Sacred Heart a little bit. Before all that, though, it's national title time. So obviously, it's time to talk about crypto. It's going to be 1 minute. It loops back down to Montana, and all the goings on is what's going on. So, why crypto? Well, crypto had its little scary little dip on Friday, popped right back up. So, you know what that means. It's going to explode soon. So, make sure you have your sell level set so you can not round trip your bags and actually make money, take profits on the way up. Why? Well, you know why. Your trip to Nashville, Tennessee. January 5th, our Montana Grizzlies will be playing for the national title. And it's time to get prepared for that. Get your hotels ready. You know, the Sauce Network is going to have all this publicity about us playing for the national title and all the preview videos from day one and how it's going. So, you're going to take your profits, whether you have to fly to Nashville, whether you want to drive, spend the weekend there because it's Monday Night Football. Our Montana Grizzlies will be playing for the national title. Now, before we get to Cal Poly, everyone's so concerned about rankings. We're number 4 in the stats perform poll, which I always talk about when I do ratings. We're 4. Cats are 5. The Cats are 4. We are 5 in the what's it called? The playoff. The playoff people came out with their first top 10, and so we're number 5. So what? I mean, well, don't we have better things to argue about, like how to, I don't know, give CPR to a giraffe? Because this is all meaningless. Because the truth is, our Montana Grizzlies, if they go 12-0, you can say it's a big F, whatever. If the Grizzlies go 12-0, you have my personal guarantee that they will be a top 2 seed and be at home for the playoffs. Why can I say that? Even if South Dakota State's only loss is to North Dakota State, however you want to do it, Tarleton State's undefeated, it won't matter. They want Washington Grizzly Stadium in the semifinals on ESPN, if at all possible. So every little doubt will go in the favor of the Montana Grizzlies if they are 12-0. We are in the second best conference in the country in the FCS, so there's just no doubt. So let's go. What happened with Cal Poly? All right. First, I get a message from Kyle. You better get that defense going, or you're not making any type of title run. So what did the Griz do? They responded to Kyle's demands and have let up 9 points in the last 5 quarters. 9 points, 4 shutout quarters, and then we fell behind 9-0. We were down 9-0 at the half. Cal Poly scores a touchdown. They do a crazy 2-point conversion. It's like you go and you look. Usually, when you see what they saw, they'll break back in, kick the extra point. They ran right up the middle against 3 Montana Grizzlies with no blocking. It was a beautiful thing. So they were up 9-0. But then what happened? Third quarter came around. Of course, no fans were in the stadium because we never come back on time. But Kenzel Lawyer, pick 6 in the first 4 minutes of the second half, changed the whole complexity of the game. So much so that Kyle Poly would get 50 yards the rest of the game. 25 in the last minute when we were up 28-9 before we picked them off for a 4th time. We took over in the second half. Once we made it 14-9, KDR out the door, it was freaking over. Gilman did his thing, got 112 yards. Mr. Electricity scored the go-ahead touchdown that put us up 14-9. We won. We covered 28-9. Took care of business like we knew we would. Now comes in Sacred Heart. Now, what does Sacred Heart have in common with us? Well, one thing. They're the only other FCS school that has 3 wins. 3 wins after trailing at the half. So they got some heart. They play a they play at a different level of competition than we do. Ours is obviously way higher. There's a reason we're 30.5 point favorites, and that feels light to me. Um, the total's 57.5. I said over last week, but the Griz defense said no, we're going to just dominate. So this week, full disclosure, I'm not betting it, but people love to have picks on these videos, so 30.5 feels light for Montana against Sacred Heart. They do. What's his name here? Mitchell Summer. That's right. Mitchell Summer led the FCS in rushing last week, 243 yards, and all kudos to Sacred Heart. They won 29-0 in the second half, just like we won 28-0 in the second half, and they were down 14-3. They came back as a 2.5-point dog to Howard and got the job done. But that's just really what you need to see. They were 2.5-point dogs to Howard. Those conferences that duck the playoffs. So Sacred Heart is sitting there at 5-2, which is good. Their one chance of playing a fake top 10 team in Lehigh, they lost 28-10 because they're just not at that level. Now, why I say fake is because Lehigh's in one of those weak conferences and that you stay undefeated and you get to be ranked high. But with Sacred Heart, they're 5-2. So, that's the only difference between them and like an Indiana State. Indiana State's terrible. We put 60 on them. Great job. But Sacred Heart is more at that level of at least they're used to winning. Even if they fall behind, they're used to winning. But they're walking into a buzzsaw. They're walking into Washington Grizzly Stadium after a first half where we slept through against Cal Poly, we came out in a huge emotional win. We came out flat and then, did Montana things to rip them apart in the second half. They're just not at our level. They're just Sacred Heart is just, miles below, despite their good record. Now, if we win 27-10, you can turn on Griz and the sky will be falling again. But that kind of just brings me back to comparative scoring. Oh, this team did this so well, and this team only won by 5 or 6. It's like all that is irrelevant. But, people got to talk about stuff besides giving CPR to a giraffe. That's a lot more exciting than discussing polls. But anyway, I digress. Oh, one more thing before I go. You guys got to know this. Next week, the 24th of October, we play Sauk State on ESPN2 at 10:30 Eastern Time. 10:30 Eastern Time. So that means this video on Sauce Network will have to be before Friday. Hopefully, Sauce will tell you after this video that we'll fit them in this time or that time, whenever we're going to do it. But, we're going to get it. I mean, I've heard rumblings, Toast and others have been talking about how when we go to Nashville, that Kyle's going to have like on a loop the 16-part series of me previewing every game. I mean, it's just rumors right now, but I'm not quite sure. But look for the 8th victory, previewing the 8th win against Sauk State. And hopefully Kyle says Sauk State on the air, but I know he's a pro, so they'll probably say Sacramento State Hornets. But we'll get to go dominate them on the road on national TV. We haven't had many road games. We had one road game in the first 7, but Sacred Heart, we're going to take care of. I think we're going to really boat race this team, or how do you say? No, we're just going to dominate Sacred Heart and move on to the next one, which will be Friday night on ESPN2. Look for a dog walking of Sacramento State. We'll see you guys in the next video, and we'll see you in Nashville, January 5th. All right, let's have a great one. Boom.